In the quiet village of Uweme, town was breaking when the midwife screamed, not because of pain, but because of light. The newborn child, a baby girl, had opened her eyes, and the room filled with sunlight, golden rails spilled across the mud walls, making everyone shield their faces. "She has the sun in her eyes," whispered the old woman, trembling. "She's not ordinary." The child's mother, Eromosele, held her close, tears streaming down her face. Her father, a humble farmer named Osage, fell to his knees. They named her Adesuwa, born into wealth, though no one yet knew what kind of wealth she carried. By the time Adesuwa turned 7, she had learned to hide her eyes, not because they were ugly, but because they frightened people. Whenever she grew angry or cried, her eyes blazed like the afternoon sun, and the earth itself seemed to respond. Winds would shift, fires would spark, shadows would flee. Children ran from her. Adults whispered that she was a curse disguised as beauty. Her mother would whisper, "Never let the world see your eyes, my child." And so Adesuwa wore a cloth veil wherever she went. A little girl who looked at the world through shadows, never knowing the color of the sky she carried inside her. One day, while fetching water by the Edo River, she met a blind man. He was sitting under an iroko tree, humming a song that sounded older than time. Adesuwa froze. "How do you know?" He chuckled softly. "Because I once held the moon in my hands, and I know how heavy light can be." The man's name was Ogene Karo, a traveler and farmer, seer who had gone blind from staring too long into visions of the future. He told Adesuwa something that changed her life. "The sun in your eyes is not a curse, but every crown has a cost." Then he gave her a riddle. "When the sun met the shadow at the edge of the world, your destiny will rise or fall." Before she could ask more, he disappeared, leaving behind only the echo of his voice in the wind. That year, Ubeme was struck by the worst drought in history. The river dried up. The crops turned to ash. Children fainted from thirst. The villagers, desperate for a scapegoat, turned to Eromosele's family. "She carries the sun," they shouted. "She burns the rain away." One night, they stormed their huts with torches. Adesuwa's father stood between them and his daughter. But when they dragged her outside, something inside her broke. Her tears fell, and each drop sizzled like molten gold. She screamed, and her eyes flamed like two burning suns. The villagers fell to the ground as a blinding light filled the night. Then came the roar of thunder, and finally rain, heavy, endless rain that washed the dust from the land. When the people looked up, she was gone. The girl who brought the rain had vanished. Adesuwa wandered for days until she found herself in a place that wasn't on any map, the kingdom of mirrors, hidden behind the last sunset. A woman in a robe of starlight approached her. It was Olokun, the goddess of the deep. "You hold the light of the first dawn," Olokun said. "The world fears what it does not understand. But you, Adesuwa, you were born to restore balance." Olokun placed her palm over Adesuwa's eyes. "You must choose. Hide your light and live in peace, or release it and burn through destiny." Adesuwa, trembling, whispered, "If light was placed in me, it was meant to shine." Adesuwa returned to her world, but not as a child anymore. Her veil was gone. Her eyes shone like the twin suns of creation. She walked through the drought-shrinking lands, and where her guards fell, life returned. Rivers flowed. Trees bloomed. The people who now feared her now bow in awe. But the power within her came with a price. For every light she gave, her own heart dimmed. When she restored the last dying forest, her steps grew weak. Her mother found her lying by the riverside, her eyes fading to calm amber. "Don't cry, Mama," she whispered. "The sun does not die when it sets. It just rises elsewhere." And as the first rays of dawn broke, Adesuwa's body turned to pure light, rising into the sky. Generations later, when the sun rises over Ubeme, the elders tell their children, "Do not stare too long at the morning sun, for that is Adesuwa watching over us." And every year, on the day rain first falls, the villagers leave a bowl of water by the riverbank, so the girl who held the sun in her eyes may drink and rest and shine again. Moral of the story: some lights are not meant to be hidden, even if the world calls you a curse. your purpose might be to heal it.